You look at like what Spurrier did with his tasting back in the 70s, and you know what that did for California wines. And I think that it made a huge impact. And it's like if you look at what is going on today, and you want to have this similar conversation with regards to not just California, but lots of different places, and talk about how quality is changing and rising dramatically. You know, a great variety that I think is a really great one to use is Pinot Noir. Everybody knows Pinot Noir. Everybody loves Pinot Noir. It's hot. It's exciting. People dig it. And it's something that, you know, wine growers from all over the world have invested in and are making some fucking great wine. And it deserves to be in this conversation, I think. And, you know, for me, the best way to do that is to select what I think are some of the very best Pinot Noirs from different places around the globe, different places where I think high-quality Pinot Noir is being made. Assemble top-notch tasters, some of the best people in the wine business, get them together, sit them down, and just let them taste the wines and say, you know, what do you think? Because I think at the end of the day, if we did this tasting and it goes off the way I think it could, the results could be very, very interesting. Okay, guys. Hi, everyone. So we've been a little secretive about the tasting, and that's kind of on purpose. We assembled this group because you guys are the best of the best. Really highly respect all of your palates and your the way you assess wines. And I think that's really important for this exercise. Keep in mind, the idea with this tasting is I really want to try to get everyone's feedback. Honest, like no frills feedback on the wines. I want us to have a discussion about each of them, just kind of go around the table and we'll all talk. This is a blind tasting. It's all Pinot Noir, but we're not trying to assess where it's coming from or anything like that. We're not trying to guess vintages. It's not that kind of blind tasting. It's more just, I want to get honest opinions on the wines without seeing the labels and knowing where it's coming from and all that sort of jazz. We can be truly objective with the wines. Everything's super high quality. I think everything's showing really, really well, so I'm excited to taste the wines. The way this is going to work, the wines in front of you, you got 1, 2, 3 in the front, 4, 5, 6 in the back, left to right. We're going to taste in order, wines 1 through 6, and then just kind of talk about each wine as a group. It'll take 3 minutes and just kind of smell and taste through all the wines quickly, start to get your initial assessment of them, and then we'll go back and we'll taste through each one individually. And then at the end of this, I'm going to ask you to pick what you think are your personal top 3 wines. And I don't want that to be a discussion at the end. We're going to write it down on that little sheet of paper there to your right, and then you'll hand it to me. And then we'll talk about those picks. And that's it. Has everyone tasted?
Oui.
We good to start talking? Okay. All right, so let's start with wine number 1 and talk about it. Initial thoughts, again, we're looking more for like just your impression of the wine, sense of quality, not necessarily where you think it's coming from or anything like that, but just your opinions on the wine, its quality, etc.
There seem to be some carbonic notes for me that are very, very lifted. At first, I thought a bit like that's a carbonic Pinot Noir, but very pronounced at first.
Like all the Beaujolais notes, like the real
Yeah,
strawberry amelic,
but like,
very juicy.
but new wave Beaujolais-esque.
That's really heavy on those big
Yeah.
top notes, fruity, some strawberry in your face.
Tasted the youngest and like freshest to me, not quite integrated.
And very primary.
Yeah.
It's funny, on the nose, it smells like really stemmy or really like intense. And then there's a little heat on the nose as well, but like only when you exhale. But overall, it's balanced. It has like a sweetness of fruit. I wasn't expecting that based on the nose. Like the finish is sweet.
Yeah, it was almost like gummy strawberry.
Yeah,
That like
carbonic.
sweet.
Yeah, carbonic.
Blind, I would have said Gamay, probably.
I feel like it's a simpler, not to get too critical, but it feels like it's compared to these, some of these at least, it's a simpler, more one-dimensional type
Yeah,
of
it is
wine.
very,
It's
like,
like delicious and fruity,
fresh,
but
like
not
ripe.
much.
it's like they were just going for
Cherry.
like pretty, you know, and like and fun.
If you were like if that one and wine number 3 together, it's like, wait, what's the common thread here? Like, I didn't quite get that too. Those were two polar opposites for me.
And it's more variable. Like if like kind of more grapefruit driven, then I think we are gonna get more wines that have more to say, like more terroir driven are gonna come next, and especially probably more towards to the end. Whereas really like as you say, you can't replace it, and then the grape will be more like studied by the vinification.
Nearly seemed to be a different soil type there compared to the 5 others in a way.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I hope I'm not offending anyone that I know and respect, but it kind of feels like a wine that someone's trying to make in a really elegant style in a place where you maybe don't make this by nature.
Okay. Interesting. Again, I'm
Interesting. Like
I'm listening
he's right.
to you guys. No, again,
I'm
it's
kidding.
not about being right or anything. It's about
As the one's going to be revealed
probably. I don't know.
in a
Maybe.
movie. In
Michael?
a movie.
Settle down.
Not that one.
There goes your allocation.
Arvid said.
Eau de Vilaine is hiding around the corner, and that was his wine. Thank you very much. Okay, cool. No, that was really good feedback. All right, so let's same thing. Wine number 2. What are your thoughts on this one?
Initially, when I smelled this one, I was like, this is so quiet on the nose. Like it's restrained. It doesn't. Some of these start to become more bold and more candied or floral or intense, powdery. This one was the most quiet on the nose. And then I was surprised that it had so much tannin structure. And it was like, it finished really acidic, which for me is old world. And, you know, it has this like chalky minerality, but at the same time, the only thing that's throwing me off of this like old world thing is like this sassafras, like almost like this Werther's original, like that just like doesn't belong there, so I'm not really sure what's going on. But I like the wine. I think it was, you know, I'd want to drink it. I think it's classic.
I like the élevage.
Yeah.
The oak treatment is very sexy and pretty and very uniform.
It's very pure, but it's a warm fruit.
It's very pure. It's expensive oak, very well managed.
And it's definitely a darker fruit quality as well. It's, you know, more like a rich, like a brooding, like blackcurrant
that
almost
was my
versus
thoughts on
like,
this one,
yeah,
too.
like
It had a
definitely juicier, dark
denser,
fruit.
kind of darker fruit profile.
was
It's
thinking
definitely
like-
built to last. Like it has both the concentration of fruit and the oaky notes. Like but it's built to. This will be great in like
Tasted
5
like a
years.
warmer vintage too, like that
Yeah,
ripeness that came through
probably.
on there.
It's still very primary. I had a lot of notes of like end of aging, like it's not a very put together yet one. I think it's very recent vintage.
It's more infused than extracted. It's very gentle.
There is a little bit of heat. I'm finishing on none on. I see what you see with the acid, but what I'm left with is a bit more alcohol.
It's warm fruit.
It's because you've been drinking 9% Delaware. Recalibrated your palate.
exactly.
It's a bourbon you just had.
I thought this had really good texture to me, like the juicy kind of mid-palate richness to it. I thought was nice.
But it has layers, it stays with you.
Totally, but it's like in a nice structured box. Like it's
lingering.
I liked
Yeah, it's lingering.
the acid and the tannin. I thought like really added
Can still taste it.
to it.
I mean, it tastes like a wine of potential. It's like you said, it's going to be a really interesting one to taste in the future. It's one that you want to taste again a little bit later.
Yeah.
Very ambitious wine.
Yeah, it's a very
Like,
ambitious one. there's people behind it thinking.
Yeah,
With a lot of polish and a lot of, like,
for good or worse.
forethought.
But, yeah.
It's just at a very primary stage.
Yes.
This wine needs time.
Too bad we're gonna drink it too early in general, right? I mean,
That's what it is.
us Americans. 2 drinks too early.
Okay, cool. Wine number 3.
I feel like wine number 3 relates to wine number 2 a lot. Like it's the same kind of palette of aromas and same kind of élevage probably, but it's a little more like restrained and elegant and a little bit more abrasive too. Like there's a little tannin that sticks out and there's a little bit, but it feels like a slightly less polished wine than number 2, but in the same vein. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
How dare they?
I know, sometimes sulfur is needed.
I thought the first one had more of the, we were talking about the fruit, the ripeness to it. This one had a little more of the floral components, and I was thinking like rose petals, and then also that stemminess that came through that made it a little more brash than the first one, which felt it was more integrated.
Yeah. I feel the oak tannin is more present on this one too. It's like a little bit, it's definitely a little coarser.
I agree. There is the elegance that you could see here is a little less polished in this finish on that.
Really? I feel the opposite.
You thought the tans were more finished on?
I think this is more coarser tannin here.
Yes.
Where with
Yeah.
you, like more harsher tannin. I also think there is more sulfur.
I agree.
But you just don't like anything that you
No,
deem
yeah, I
sulfur.
think you're right. At least they stick
You
out.
think you're saying more tannin on this wine, not
More tannin here and more like the sulfur for me
Yes.
on the young wine tends to enhance the tannin structure. They need to. It's going to take more time to polymerize. I feel that there is something here happening compared to here, where there is a work that is feel more integrated all the way through. Where
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. The tannins on this one felt a little bit more more pronounced than the last one, without having as much.
But
like,
the
kind of
fruit was
guts
much
in the
more
middle.
complete.
Yes, the fruit
On-
The fruit was much more precise.
On
It's much
2
more
or 3?
On 3.
The 3 is grapey, it's like younger.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I
it,
think about.
It's more generous also. It's less rustic than on the first one.
yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it wore the oak as well as number 2 did, though,
No,
by any
no,
means.
absolutely not. It's more like, at first you smell it and it's floral and candied, but then the structure is like, almost like Nebbiolo structure, but it's not, I don't know, there's something grapey and young and tannic about it. It's just,
All fruit tannin.
it's nice,
Is this when you were
but,
talking about the tannins, Aldo, when you got to this
yeah,
one, or
when
was
you
it?
said one of these things.
Yeah, but to me, the only thing what bothers me in here is there's a little bitter note which I pick up here, which the alcohol stands out. That's the only thing what bothers me.
The bitterness?
It's just sitting right here. And
But
that's the only thing where...
it's a bitterness that sticks out at the end. It's not
Exactly.
it's not part of the wine. It doesn't
no, it's the
stretch the
alcohol.
wine.
Yeah.
It comes afterwards.
Exactly.
You know, I'm only bothered by the fact that it smells like a funeral home because it's like floral and bitter. It's not, I know, it sounds bad, but I'm just like, I keep going back and it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will, but it's like,
I think it says that on the back label, actually.
you'll be dead when you...
What a variety they reference as to.
I mean, no, it's just like, it's kind of like so potent and floral on the nose that it feels like you're walking into just a lot of flowers.
It's interesting to see a wine that has been worked on to get very specific aromatics, where the structure is not yet here. There is a disconnect between the two.
That's the biggest thing, the disconnect, the young and the floral, and then that structure.
It's not as harmonious as 2.
Right, I definitely thought it was more
I don't know
disjointed
that
as well.
that I agree that that's a worked on aspect. I feel like this is less polished and like more of an honest wine than probably number 2. Not that we need to put that
Different
into
appellation.
yeah, put that into hierarchy of like
So floral. But see some
morals,
some alcohol too.
yeah.
It's probably 2 ways of winemaking between the two.
Absolutely.
It feels like there is 2 different approach.
I think of this as like a less of a perfect wine, but I don't know, it resonates with me more for some reason.
For the age, kind of the age is type.
It challenges you. It's a wine
little
which
bit.
challenges you.
Like, yeah, it's a little punch.
Let's go on 4.
Let's go on 4.
On 4.
Let's
Great.
go to my country.
I don't know about that. I'd be really careful with those kind of statements. I'm just saying,
come on.
my country. No, it's
Which
funny.
my country now?
It's amazing.
I've been freaking New York for 10 years now.
Well, you can claim that after.
New York's not a country, by the way.
It's this country. No, she thinks it's French. That's what she said is my country.
I don't think it's either.
No.
No.
This is a cool one
know.
because there's only a couple of producers
there's
that
one
get this,
producer
that
that
do
sticks
this,
out a
but
lot
it's probably
for me.
a bunch of copycats. And it's a little too ripe for the nose that
very
it's
by far.
got going on, right? Yeah,
Very
that
by
makes
far.
that makes great sense.
Limestone in Geelong, Australia.
But it's very vegetable.
But it's very vegetable.
Very vegetable. And that
Vegetable.
throws me completely off.
Yeah, that's why that makes
That's why it's very by far.
that
It really does taste like the two-play.
But
things like that.
somebody that he has that combination of vegetal
jalapeno.
and very warm.
Tastes almost like a
thing.
barrel sample. Like it was
A lot of
so.
oak cluster,
It
a
wasn't
bit of
as,
oak.
All right, so
Cluster
let's
vegetal
reel it
chalky,
in
right?
instead of trying to guess what it is.
Damn.
What are your thoughts on the wine? Let's talk about the wine objectively and
Yeah.
like kind of dissect it. What's the quality? Compare it to the other wines we've tasted so far.
Talking about made wine.
Yeah, that's the main one.
I mean, it sticks out in this whole lineup. It definitely sticks out. There's a couple of things. It's
It's a
extreme in
strong
many
philosophy of
directions.
winemaking.
Say again.
It's a very strong philosophy of winemaking in this wine. Whole cluster.
Whole cluster all the way through.
But there's multiple things. Like it's turbid. At least my glass said it's turbid. It's whole cluster. It's very intense in all aspects.
Everything's on. I wrote first gut, everything intense. It's just like,
It's really dialed up and a bit wild.
I like it. I like the wild character.
It's not.
It's like
It's not afraid of a point of view with that and saying, hey, here's what we're
I
trying to be. But I do think that was one that stood out to me as being very off the charts with compared to the other ones. And it didn't taste like I still go back to 2 as being integrated, and this one just felt like it had parts all over the place. And maybe give it time, it'll come together. But it's hard for me to see through that. Like
I
you were
have a
saying
hard
there.
time to see that. I would know
Yeah.
what you're saying, but I have a hard time to see how that vegetable component
too, it's
will
not
ever
gonna
get
change.
integrated.
It's like 04s and Burgundy. It's like you never,
don't
they
know.
never
It
came
will,
in.
it will always be parts, but if it,
it
I
smells
can
like,
see that aging really well and becoming really
can?
that.
I don't know, I think it's like that smell of like canned vegetables or that like kind of jalapeno like powder. I don't know, that it's just,
For me,
Reductive?
it's a vegetal kind of helps the wine to age well. You know, if I kind of make slight experience with especially Cab Franc, that can really change in some
But
things that is getting sexy without disappearing. That
I
was-
wa- I
And
wanna
it becomes
go-
almost savory right after
When
it
you talk about
ages that way,
vegetable
and
with
you can
Cab
see
Franc,
that.
though, I mean, you expect that. And
Exactly.
it's part of it, and like that's what's charming about it.
Right.
Whereas, like,
No,
you know, I don't dislike.
I wasn't talking about charming per se for Cab Franc. I think we are not taking care enough of the vegetal part of a wine today, where we're on the fruit side and not on the
But-
plant side. And I think having a bit of that vegetal here is extreme, but
I
I
think
can see it evolving with something that can be sexier than what it is today.
but the general consumers,
but
that's not for them.
It's a strong philosophy of winemaking in a warm environment, backed up by soil. There is a earthy,
depth.
chalky,
There is.
minerally backbone structure and freshness. Because once you get past that, the freshness is all small, red fruit driven, and kind of mineral, the salivation happening that you don't get in a lot of areas where people are stuck to a philosophy when there's nothing to back it up. To me,
Also, if you
that's a
think
big,
about it,
for me, that's a big difference.
I didn't
in
like
wine.
It's even fresher for me than the three last one. Like the three first one were more finishing on the alcohol.
But there's so much wood
and
tannin
here-
on that wine,
On 4?
on 4.
I have grape.
Really
I
sweet,
get grape tannin too.
and it
I have
sticks
grape
on your
tannin.
palate.
I don't get that.
So that's why 04 Burgundy, to me, I would be challenged if that is Burgundy.
what do you think about that
way
weedy
too much warm
nose?
fruit,
I
way
mean,
too
to
high
get to this
alcohol, way
nose, if
too
you think
sticky.
about Burgundy, if you think about, it's not the general, it's not the average, not the general
why,
consumer wine,
to
but
me, Burgundy is out
think
of
about
question.
how La Tâche smells when it's great. That's kind of a weedy, medicinal, non-fruity nose. Like,
But the stems are ripe.
The stems are ripe.
They're brown.
Yeah, even too brown.
It's stemmy, but it's nearly too brown. I don't know if that's possible to.
And yet it's vegetable.
Yes, but to me it's more earthy root vegetables and green
Herbal.
stems, herbal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like Amaro. It's just weird. It's like everything's intense,
there-
but
there is-
floral, savory, spicy. Everything's on like hyper, like.
But there is some reduction
color.
here you are mentioning, and I think the reduction
Screw
right
top.
now doesn't.
But that would make sense for, well, by far it's not screw top, is it?
no.
No, but this smells
At
like.
least with this one, we're either getting drunk or it's a one with has a lot to talk about.
Well, exactly.
Just get drunk and talk a lot.
Silly, I like it. I like it a lot.
Maybe it's
No, this is
polarizing.
great. This is exactly
It's
what.
supposed to be polarizing.
It makes a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of sense though, because I feel like the style it's a very heart-forward wine, and I mean it's exactly like what
like
we're
that
talking
word.
about.
But this would also be one that I think if Michael loves this, he puts it on the list. How many people can he make a convert out of in the dining room? Like this is,
Yeah.
if you put one on there and you flesh out a list, but if you put a whole list together of these,
No.
then this style of wine, that's when I think it gets a little bit too much. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Which
kidding.
country is it?
I mean, go to Brooklyn, you can find lots of restaurants like that. But yeah.
Exactly. I like your comment about savory though, and like that. Wine doesn't have to be fruity. It doesn't only have to be like this like fruit thing or earth thing. I mean, savory is a good quality to have in a wine with food. I mean, think about that.
Vine is a plant first,
Right.
and then it's a fruit. So I'm kind of tired of wines that just show one side or the other. It's great to have.
But you know, that's always a problem. What we sommeliers like sometimes is not what the consumer likes. What we look on challenges and savoriness and all these high acid components, typically and again, this sounds like negative, but it's not meant that way, the consumer doesn't like.
Yet.
They want more smoother
Yet.
ones. Yeah, no,
Yet.
but it's an evolving
Sorry,
thing.
sorry.
You have to
So-
recalibrate yourself
Yeah.
once every few
Yes,
months. You got like.
But you also have to be an advocate for the guest. I mean, you have to make sure
Absolutely.
that you're.
But it's also important to be able to notice these things, be able to pay attention to them in the glass, and then make your decisions about your list and how to balance it properly
Exactly.
from that information.
And
that you
deliver
take.
that.
No,
Right.
As you say, you can't just have this one on the list.
But if you
You
pour,
can't.
but if you pour this by the, if this,
have
if this
too
was your
much
by
of
the
a
If
glass
it was
Pinot
your
Noir,
only Pinot Noir by the glass,
like you're fine.
yeah.
Going back to what Sabato said, if you start to have too much of a perspective and you lean too far in one direction, whether that's fruit or vegetable or earth or whatever the case may be, you're going to end up excluding your guests, which is the opposite of hospitality. We're all pros here, so I think everybody grasps that. But that's an important thing to remember. But it's interesting to be able to have that conversation and start to taste these things and recognize those subtle differences.
And it's why it's important to follow whomever is writing the reviews or critiquing the wines. If I believe Pascaline has a good palate, I'm following what she likes, and I'll pick this wine. So it's also about the person
You're
writing.
talking
the
restaurant critic, or are you talking about a wine critic?
No, I'm talking about a wine critic. Like if you are reading a tasting note or reading this is XYZ, the top wine
Sure.
I pick, you might think it's a lot different than the top wine Pascaline picks.
Totally.
If she
So-
posts it on Instagram.
Are there three fire symbols
Right.
or
It's
just two?
full more stacked in my apartment
Well, it's
right
not
now.
Shannon, so no.
Right.
There's a reason why you can't get some producers anymore.
Oh,
You.
all right, cool.
No.
On to the next.
That was very fruity for me.
This was the first one that took me to the
That was
new
my,
world.
my first word. I like to put a word down too when I taste one. That's the first thing that's very upfront, but not in a bad way. Huh? It's
Especially after the number 4. Like the jump between the two was like, wow, day and night.
It's very pretty. Like,
I like you. You're like always complimentary. No wonder
I
you're
try to
the-
be. I try to be.
it's very lush.
You're the best.
It's lush, it's lush, it's
Lush.
generous,
It's fishy.
very sweet oak tannins again.
Oh, fleshy.
Which makes it
I thought you
simple.
said fishy.
Fleshy.
But this is when, back to the by the glass, if you poured this by the glass, I think you'd make a lot of people happy.
Make a lot of money.
Yeah, and well, it depends how much it costs, but yes.
Probably not. It's probably too expensive.
Exactly. But I think that is something that is, if you say Pinot Noir, this is what a lot of people in the U.S. think of that. And, so if you have this if you have one number
Well, you can
4
have
on
them
your
both.
list, you need to have a number 5 to balance it out if you want to have a well-rounded program.
I mean, obviously, we had a lot to say about wine number 4. Kind of digging a little bit more into wine number 5, though, kind of like feel this one a little deeper. It's not slapping us across the face as much as wine number 4 was with everything. Not as an obvious of a wine, but kind of what are some of the more finer details in this one that you guys are
I did get a little bit more of like a ferrous, like almost like irony quality at first, like slightly more metallic than some of the others. But I don't know if that was like partly due to the comparison right before. Not in like a negative way. It just had a little bit more of that sort of, especially on the back palate.
It tasted well made, and I think almost like, for lack of a better word, like shinier than the others. Like it was more polished up, and I don't know if that means that it was just rich winemaking, or if it was someone that intentionally said, hey, I need to make this in a style that is going to be that fastball down the middle.
I would buy this is my test of like whether it's a good wine. And I think at first I said it's powdery, I don't know. This is my first note. Like it's candied, it's powdered sugary, I don't know what to make of this. And especially coming off of wine 4, because I was like, this is savory, and then this one is just so obvious. But as I sip it, I'm like, okay, This is a wine people will enjoy. It's a wine that I think is well made. It has like polish, but I mean, is it going to be stocked in my house for like me to like Instagram about it and write how, you know, I can't live without it? Probably not, but that's not the goal of this exercise, right? It's like, I think this is Pinot Noir, and it's really classic, and people will love it.
I was expecting it to finish almost sweeter, and I was actually
know.
pleasantly surprised when it didn't. It finished like very lean. There's some that grip and
Acid on
Yeah.
the finish.
But
I
much,
keep going back
too
and
much,
forth on
too
this.
much grape. Like I was like, the first thing it was like, I was like, it's cold maceration. There is a very technical thing in the winemaking, and then there is oak behind it. There's a lot of food process, and sometimes I like my wine when there is some food process, but a little bit less vinification, jumping out of the like. That was also like it's too extreme example almost of vinification here.
and you
between-
preferred number 4 over 5.
because probably, and when we are talking about, because in our like experience as professional drinking wine, the more I think, the more we go in, the more we like to have fruit plus. Where here we are still a bit more like, okay, this is a more beginner stage of enjoying the grape. You know,
It's
that
a more
will be for
polarizing wine.
yeah.
The other
yeah,
one is more
yeah, absolutely
With
more
wine form.
diplomatic.
more diplomatic. Yeah, like you have no experience with Pinot, and you want to have somebody trying for the first time.
Five,
that will
five
be
is a good by the glass because it's not about the first sell, it's about the second glass you're going to sell, right? We maybe wouldn't like it as much because we don't have that salivation, that intriguing
length.
thing that grabs us and that like intrigues us, like maybe like in wine 4 or maybe wine 3, like Arvid said.
I don't know. I think we're being a little harsh on this one. I think
that's
this
what I
has
said.
more. It's
No,
it's
not
pretty
the correct-
balanced. It has sweetness, but it does have that savory, like, it has sort of grip on the finish. I think this might be a little victim of
the
of a vintage where things are a little bit too good, in the sense that the fruit's really perfect, it's really sweet, it's really forward in the glass. I think this might blossom out and be really, really elegant.
even with the oak.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I think it'll wear the oak better than the previous wine wore the vegetal.
Yeah, yeah, the
I think the fruit will last longer than the vegetal.
It's also like a softer entry point.
Yeah.
Like the integration of sweet oak is a little bit easier and more charming in a way than
Exactly,
the integration
yeah.
of like and the potential aging of something vegetal.
But also in the close your ears, but in the oak spectrum, I don't find it either that.
I know.
Me either.
There is some,
If we
but I
assume
don't
that half
find
a
it
ace of
that
Burgundy,
I don't
there's
find it
a
that
lot of
aggressive.
oak. I mean, that's.
I think
It's not too
we've all
oaky.
seen a lot of Pinot with a whole lot more oak than nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think this is a perfectly crowd-pleasing wine. You can give this to anyone. I wouldn't listen. There's nothing to bad talk about it. It's just a perfectly made wine. That's about it. To me, it's a very warm fruit. The oak is not excessive, what we said, but you still pick it up on the palate. Look, probably 90% of the people you give it to will be perfectly fine with it.
It's like the white picket fence rose.
This is the perfect
Pinot Noir.
sideways, post-sideways wave wine. This is when you give them and talk about Pinot Noir. Will they stick all the time around it? No, because they will evolve and look for challenges and look for
And
complications.
they won't talk about oak either, let's be honest.
No,
they
but
won't.
look,
You're
this is not.
Nobody will.
We are talking about it. They're gonna like it, and they're never gonna say
This is,
anything.
not
Nobody's-
this is not a glass of wine which you add, 15% of Syrah just to add color and whatever.
No,
It's
absolutely
not
not.
about it. This is really good made wine. It's just, listen, be very critical and be very, technical onto it. But listen, bottom line, this is a really
It's
well-made
enjoyable.
wine. It's a very enjoyable wine. Does it suit our palate? Not necessarily, but. When you taste, it's not about that. It's about
I know,
analytical
it's
tasting.
what,
Whether
it's
you
what
like it or
it's
not, it's
what
a
I
different
said
story.
earlier. It's like that's a good wine by the glass. People are going to reorder it.
And
as
nobody's gonna come
We
and
might
complain.
gravitate towards something else.
You're
But
yourself.
that's the main taste.
you buy a
That's
case
the
from
main
Verve?
problem in most
This
of the
one.
tastings because
but 20% is
tasters always taste after their personal palate, which is completely irrelevant.
I don't do that.
When you buy, when you're in a buying position, you gotta buy in an analytical way.
Yes,
Period.
but that's not what we're talking
I
about right
understand,
now.
but
So
that's
yeah.
always
Pure
the main
joy.
issue. What you're talking about, look, because if I buy only wines after my palate, I have a one-dimensional list.
Correct.
Or-
100%.
No, to a point, I agree. But I think we all have wine programs and lists where we have ranges, right? If we're talking Pinot Noir on any one, I mean, I run a smaller wine program, but within the range of Pinot Noir, there's plenty to choose from on all price levels and and ages, etc. So at some point, I think you do have to buy by your personal preference, but you do have to see through it. You have to have
You want
options,
personality.
but you at some point you need to inject your own like
I want to
favorites
go
too.
into your place and bring you, and I want to go to your place and bring what you think, and to your place and to your
I'm
place.
sure you do the
like,
same, although you have a
I want,
big
I want
list.
to see
There's
things I would
different
never
opinions.
drink.
Yes, but
look,
there's an
having
art
many
form
opinions
to
is a
that.
great thing.
Yeah.
But I think that's where you need the chocolate, vanilla, strawberry of Pinot Noir at those different price points, so you can say, okay, I have this for the person that wants just something ripe that is quote unquote Pinot Noir, and something that's a little more intellectual, and then someone says, wow.
But at
you gotta
least for
hit those.
me,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hit every. I'm not buying the Marquesan just because I need to have that wine for someone who happens to walk into my
buy that
restaurant.
so you drink
That's
it.
not
But-
available.
but
I'm
also-
gonna have something else for you, but not like.
But because you're there, and people, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting your list. So for me, if you put something on your list, I'm like, man, I want to drink that. I don't know it's what you are here for that. And I think this is what's a cool thing about, especially New York and personalities, is you can go and have super high quality wine, different field with an angle and a point of view.
I think balancing that point of view with,
Staying in
taking care of the
business,
guests
Is a-
that's
is a
where I
good-
think you start to really see, like, the art coming through in a wine list is like, does it have a point of view? Yes, and you still have things that can, sway towards one guest or another. Like kind of,
Everybody.
Well, otherwise
doing a
you-
little bit of both. Of
Otherwise,
that.
you end up with that like wine list for the 1%.
Yeah.
And so I think we've all been to some of those restaurants where it's like, it's great to have a point of view, but when it's a point of view that takes away from the overall experience, and I mean, I've been in restaurants where I'm looking at lists and if I can't navigate it, like I don't know anything on there, and if I'm feeling that
know.
way, what about the person
That's
that says, I drink ice cold Chardonnay and
Cold.
Yeah, cold.
It's like cooking. It's like cooking, and when you have a personality that shines through the cooking, there's an emotional connection, and when you have that emotional connection, that's an experience. It's like Casa de Sable on Sunday night.
I have something for everyone. If you're vegetarian, I'll cook for
There's a
you.
strong personality behind it, but you can feel it.
Right. Cool. All right. Yeah. Wine number 6.
This is a fun one because I really did not like this when I just went through it quickly.
Yeah.
And it might be the fact that it ended up last in the lineup and it felt a little like simple and light and going back to it, it's I don't hate it at all, not anymore.
I mean, you talk about the vegetal and the fruit, and I think this one has a great,
Everything.
great relationship between the two that are really harmonious compared to some of the others. It's almost like Goldilocks. It's like this one was too much, this one's too little, and then this one's like just right in that sense. And I'm with you, Arvid. I went back and I didn't get to go deep into this one, and thought there was something there, but now it's like I really enjoy that one.
The tannin is more pronounced the second time I'm tasting it than the first, for sure.
And a touch of acetic.
Yes.
Did you say?
Touch of what?
Of acetic.
Acidity? Acidity?
Acetic acid.
More than a touch. It's a little balsamic
yeah.
on the, yeah. But I don't
like-
think that's necessarily bad. Again, so.
No, she loves it.
Talk about point of view.
Happy girl.
This is a wine for the long run. At the beginning, it doesn't shine, but it will shine. And look, this is the wine which has so far the most terroir specific. It's the most terroir specific wine. Now it's just shy because it's so young. It's a little clumsy.
I will agree with you. There is more things happening. Than,
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of really latent elegance. Like it wasn't really in your face at all. But going back to it again and again, it's just becoming prettier and more elegant, with every sip.
It does finish pretty sweet though. Like there's something that keeps going.
Pleasantly
Yeah.
so.
Is there
And
still some
I-
finish?
Finishes.
I was still on that. I mean, my first note was that it still has some of that sort of what I call fake elegance, like someone's
Fruity and
really trying to
confected.
make
Debutante.
yeah. So I don't know. I'll need more.
But I think there's one thing that's great about this is that blind tasting like this, you have a point of reference, and I
Yeah.
think we're fortunate to do that with the common theme. But if you're talking to a guest, if they're used to drinking Pinot Noir, probably it's one glass at a time. But there isn't something side by side to show the polarization of something like a 4 and a 1. And then, okay, let's talk about why that difference is. They just, at that point, it's either I like or I don't like.
So, like every time we meet each other for tasting is usually, for masterclass or stuff. We never really meet each other just to taste one together. It's rare.
All right. So does everybody have their top 3 written
Yes.
down?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, we were ready already?
Yeah.
Top 3?
Yeah, top 3.
Shit. Sorry.
What are we doing now?
All right, guys. So I'm going to come around and just
I
collect
say
your
fleshy and
sheets.
fishy.
Great.
I'm getting really worse than ever.
Thank you. Thank you. Great.
You don't have to fold it.
Merci.
No, we don't.
It's being unfolded.
You can't vote for the same wine 3 times.
You did?
How do we know if Russia interfered with this tasting?
Okay.
So no, you,
So again, the idea for the tasting was that basically great Pinot Noir can come from anywhere. I wanted to showcase, kind of the top regions, or what I think are some of the top regions in the world, next to each other in this sort of setting with great tasters, and have it be as objective as possible. And it's really telling. I'm really excited to see what you guys think here after going through this. And I wanted to try to cover as many different places as possible while still having some benchmark regions in here. So, okay, so the way we'll do this, we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and then we'll have the others afterwards. So, all right, so number 3 is wine number 5. So, let's see here.
Number 3 is wine number
In third place, taking the bronze medal,
Our third favorite.
is number 5.
number
Okay,
5,
great.
which is Bachelet Corbeau 15.
All right.
That's a little too expensive for a better glass. I don't know, maybe about the Danny Meyer group.
What we?
50.
Like, it's such a great wine if you're pouring it in the glass.
If it's less than our glass, Aldo, we can pour it in there. That's how we look at it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I like the glassware, but even that.
It's very good.
So let's keep in mind that the next 2 wines had a tie score.
Yes.
So
Dun, dun.
we took the rules
these
of the orphan game.
theoretically tied, but we're going to pull it out in the order that we've decided to
Rank
do this here, to rank them. So the next
Salvador, it's gonna
one
be
Stressed out. I'm stressed out.
is Domaine de la Côte. Oh!
Interessant.
This was 6. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
good.
number 6.
That makes a lot.
Good job.
Thanks, Raj.
I said pretty same.
I'm good about the fruity and
Pinot Noir for
confected.
days.
And then is
That makes a lot of sense.
My burgundy fall. All right, we'll take it. Save
mean-
us the embarrassment.
That says something, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, look,
What,
of course.
what vintage of Champagne?
So this is, I think, very,
That's a
very
nice, it's a nice
telling.
lineup.
It's really
But that says something how good that wine is.
I thought it was Chambolle-esque. Yeah, that one was fucking great.
I mean, I think it speaks volumes to the wine itself by just being in, that you guys all picked as a group, these 2 Burgundies, and then this is the wine that gets grouped in there with it. I think that speaks volumes about the wine.
well made.
I think it's important that you make wine and travel and learn from great mentors, and you see what the world is doing, like Raj does, and then you bring it back and you adapt it to your own region. And I think this is a classic example. I mean, I don't think anyone said this is Burgundy, but they were obviously in the same conversation. And I think that's just super important. Travel, discovery, and going, and that's what he does. And that's what all these people, when they first started making wine, did.
He takes the best from the best.
Exactly.
And to go back to talking about selling, I mean, this is like a perspective-changing wine for a lot of people who would think that they understand what California wine is, and there's still so many. Like, we know a lot more about the nuances and the different regions and microclimates, but this is the kind of thing that really, I think, blows people's minds when they find out this is you made this in California, and I mean, it's so beautifully done.
I love it.
I flip-flopped. In my mind, I was thinking that 6 was Burgundy, and I was thinking 5 was New World.
Yeah, I am always with you on that. Yeah.
And on me, but
Yeah.
But also, these 2 wines were, they tied.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
that's so cool.
It's fun to blind taste in this kind of thing. Like, I haven't blind tasted in a while. I consciously stopped after my ordeal was done. But even before then, for years, it was all about like.
Once I got out of therapy, I stopped.
No,
stopped blind
for real
tasting.
trauma.
So, pretty crazy tasting. It's kind of hard to describe it. Frankly, going into this, I had no idea. I really had no idea, what the outcome would be. It could have gone any which way, and it would have been totally fine. I was excited to just see what the outcome was going to be. And I didn't want any specific wine to win necessarily, or wasn't rooting for anything in particular. I just wanted to really feel and hear what people had to say. And you know, for me, I think what's really cool is, I mean, that even though I think we had a really great lineup of stellar wines from around the globe, that, you know, these guys, these pros were, you know, still ended up in the same place, and, you know, mostly Burgundy here. But I think probably the most significant piece of this whole tasting is that this wine, the Domaine de la Côte, tied with Marquis d'Angeville to take the top slot with these tasters. And I mean, I think for me, that's just really, really incredible, really crazy. I mean, these two wines were tied. They were neck and neck, and you know, it beat out Premier Cru Gevrey-Chambertin from Bachelet, and that's just nuts. And it really makes me happy, because I think the care and effort that goes into making this wine is certainly well deserved. And you know, Raj is obviously a personal close friend of mine too. So to see this wine take the spot is it's really freaking cool.